I've just been to see Candyman. It's such a powerful thing. It's the same with the tape in Ring, or Ringu if you want the Japanese original. This notion that if you do a certain thing, and it's in a horror film, if you watch a certain video or you do a thing or you repeat something, that the monster, the bad guy, the boogeyman's gonna get you. So I'm not gonna say his name 5 times because I'm superstitious and daft. So let's talk about Candyman. I suppose I've said his name 3 times now, but I don't think it counts because it wasn't in succession. And also it's just a film, right? So, in case you didn't know, there was a film back in 1992 called Candyman. It's 4 times now. And it starred Virginia Madsen. And it was about, was she a journalist or a photographer or a photojournalist? A woman went into a particular area of Chicago called Cabrini Green to investigate the neighborhood's history of violence. And it's an impoverished part of Chicago, so she was digging into the mythology around it, the people who lived there, and she uncovered this story which led her to the mythology of Candyman. So that was out all the way back in 1992. I believe it has a couple of sequels which are piss poor from what I can understand. I know I've seen the original. I think I've seen it once. So I have only vague recollections of it. And this new film is not a sequel, strictly speaking. It's kind of a reimagining, but it does follow on from the original. But what's really good about it is that if you don't know the original, or like me, you've seen it once and you don't really remember it, it actually doesn't matter. The way they weave the original story into this story without explaining in a really patronizing way. So back in the last film, this happened. They do it so well that it sort of catches you up. So if you're brand new to this, then you'll enjoy it. And if you know the original really well or not well at all, then you will also enjoy it. You'll enjoy it because it's a really good film. So it's directed by a woman called Nia DaCosta. She's done a short film so far prior to this, I believe, and she's now been handed directing rights to Marvel Studios' The Marvels, which is really bloody exciting. This film was written by 3 people in total. So there's a dude whose name I can't remember, which is bad form, who wrote with Jordan Peele, and then Nia DaCosta wrote separately. I don't know if you know this, but on movie credits, if there's an ampersand, like an and symbol, they wrote together. And if it's the word and, they wrote separately. Did you know that? I learnt that in, I think, my first year of my degree, and it's stuck in my head. So, yeah, so Jordan Peele of Monkey Paw Productions, who is the man responsible for Get Out and Us, he co-wrote the screenplay. His name's been bandied around a lot to do with this film, but it's really important to remember that this is Nia DaCosta's film. It's not. It might be Jordan Peele's production company, and I certainly don't think having his name attached to it hurt the production. Certainly it's helpful, it would open doors, but this is her film, and it's really good, man. It's incredibly well shot, it's stylish, it's atmospheric. So plot-wise, we are back in Cabrini Green, but this is 2019 and the neighbourhood has been gentrified. So where you had projects and poverty, you've now got beautiful apartments and art galleries and open spaces and trendy restaurants. And we focus in on a couple, Brianna and Anthony. He is an artist, she's a curator. He's having a bit of a dry spell. And at the beginning of the film, Brianna's brother comes round for dinner with his new boyfriend, and the brother, I want to say Troy, I think his name was Troy, tells the story, not so much of Candyman, but of Helen Lyle, which is the character Virginia Madsen played in the 1992 original. So he tells basically the plot of the first film as a ghost story. And this puts the idea of Candyman and that mythology and all the sort of ghost stories around the neighbourhood into Anthony, the artist's head. So he starts to dig. And the deeper he goes, the worse things get for him. To say much more would be to start to give things away. He is so clever. I'm genuinely impressed at how they tied the story to the original film, also how they expanded it out and sort of made the idea of Candyman this symbol for the violence perpetrated against the people of that neighbourhood, meaning the black people of that neighbourhood. You know, the crimes that and the violence that they were exposed to by the police, by the community, just because, you know, because that's what happens. And the idea that all of that becomes something monstrous as a defence against what they're being subjected to and becomes this monster of Candyman is really clever and really interesting. So you're kind of not sure what side you're on, which is weird in a horror film where there's a guy with a hook and he's gutting people left, right and centre. Doesn't hold back on the gore, I will say that. A lot of claret spilt in this film. But when you know the backstory of these men who were lynched and beaten and tortured, it's difficult to side with the good guys, because who are the good guys? The white cops who gunned down the black man without knowing what's gone on, without stopping to find out what the backstory might be, and just, you know, drawing their weapon and taking aim and taking fire. You don't take fire, do you? Okay, just they do the shooting. It's really good. Performances are excellent. It looked great. It was very creepy. I was the only one in the bloody screen, which was interesting. So when I booked my ticket, I looked on the app and there was a couple of seats like gone. And what I realised when I got in there to screen 3 was that the seats that are blanked off on the app are because they're damaged at the minute, so they're awaiting repair. So I go in, ads and trailers are already started because I'm never there for the lights going down. Take my seat in the back of screen 3 and I'm like, I'm the only one in here and this is a horror film. I mean, the upshot of all of this was I was able to take my bra off and enjoy the film comfortably. I mean, like, I didn't sit topless. That would be insane. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit here for 90 minutes. I'm possibly going to be terrified. I'm going to be terrified but comfortable. So I did the bra at the sleeve, whoosh, into the handbag. And, yeah, enjoyed the film with the girls out. Loose, but underclothes. Wasn't topless, can't stress that enough. Definitely go and see this film. It's not a jumpy horror film particularly. It's edgy and it's creepy and it's definitely gory, but it's really good and it's interesting and intriguing. And a massive round of applause to Nia DaCosta because she absolutely bloody nailed it. Go and see Candyman, 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 Candyman. Just don't say his name 5 times in the mirror. That's it. Katie out.